Hey, coaches. Today, I want to talk with you guys about a very common topic in our business, and I would say in everyday life, and that is fear. And so, I want to talk with you about how fear can affect your fitness, your business, and life all around, and how we can do things to punch fear in the face and overcome it by, you know, daily things that we can do. And yes, of course, personal development. So I think it's very common that when you are a new coach and you are learning about this business, it is very common to have fear. It's maybe you have fear that you're going to fail in this business, that you have doubts that, you can even be a coach and you can lead other people. And so I think it's important to know that a lot of those fears can be rationalized and are normal. Let's think to like maybe you have challengers or people that you're talking with to get started on this journey with you. Maybe, you've probably heard this. Maybe they've said to you, well, I haven't done a workout in years, or I don't even know where to start. What if I get injured? What if I can't handle this program? I don't think I'll have time. I think it's too hard. In the back of my mind, yes, I think some of them are excuses, but I think it's fear that they have, fear that they don't want to make the change. Maybe they don't think they'll stay committed. And so I think not only do you as a coach have fears, but people that you talk to on a regular basis have those fears too. So let's go to you. Maybe some of your fears are something like, I don't know if I can run this business. I don't know if I'll be able to make any money. I'm worried that I won't get anybody on my team or that people are going to quit. Who would want to be under me as far as me being a leader? I'm not a good leader. I know for me, that is one that I have often, just to give you guys an example of one of my fears. I'm just trying to think here. What if I can't answer their questions? What did I get myself into? All of these things. And so they're normal. These fears are normal. But what I want to tell you is those fears that you have, you really need to kick them out the window and say to yourself that you can do this. I want to give you an example. Imagine you are an engine and you need to fill your gas tank up to get to your goal. But instead of that positive energy, that good fuel that you need in order to load your tank up, you load your tank up with negative fears and garbage, which, let's face it, a lot of us do. We have that negative self-doubt over and over again. So what would happen? What would happen if you filled your engine with this negative gas? Your engine would crap out. Let's face it, your engine would die and you'd be left on the side of the road stranded. So your goals, they need to be positive, driven goals that are going to get you to not get stranded on the road and to keep you going and keep you focused on ultimately what your why is. And I know we talked about that earlier on this week. So ultimately, I want to ask you to face your fears. Confront your fears, throw them out the window. Easier said than done, right? Well, some of the things that I do is I practice positive affirmations every single day. What that means is I have a whiteboard in my office here that hangs up, and it has different positive affirmations that I say to myself every single day. And some of them are different. One of them basically says that I am a positive leader that continues to grow my team and continues to reach towards my goals and work with them on what their goals are. And that's not the exact wording, but it's basically, because again, one of my fears and one of my things that I struggle with is the negative self-doubt of who I am as a leader to my team. And I continue to work on that and I continue to read personal development, but it is something that I struggle with personally. So what I would recommend you doing is putting positive affirmations up. I am worth it. I make a difference in this world. I am going to help change a life today. And put those things on paper and visualize it so that you can see it every day every morning, when you get home, when you go to bed, so you can face those fears head on. I want you to focus on the great things that are happening around you. You may not see that quick, instant, you know, success club or that income or whatever it is that's driving you to continue working this business. But I want you to make a conscious effort to look at the good in everything that's around you, the relationships that you're building, and fuel yourself with that positivity. So I have a couple things that I want to share with you to maybe help you a little bit in overcoming the fear of failure. And then I want to share with you guys some recommendations in personal development that have helped me and that some of the other coaches have shared with me when it comes to overcoming fear. So overcoming fear of failure, I think that is a common thing when it comes to this business. What if we fail? What if we don't get any coaches? All of those things are completely normal fears, but how you react to those fears is what's going to make you succeed in this business or not succeed in this business. So the first thing I would say is that you're aware of it. Having that awareness. So before you can begin overcoming your fear, you have to know that it's causing much stress and much negativity in your life. So it's easy to get really attached to your thoughts and your feelings. For me, I get stuck on this negative chatterbox in my head that's saying, you're not being a good team leader. You're not providing enough resources and tools for your team. And I constantly have this fear that I have to work on every single day. And I do that through personal development and making sure that I am the best leader I can to my team. So being aware of it is the first thing. And then I want you to identify what those fears are. So get specific about the things that you are afraid of. Is it you're afraid that you're never going to quit your full-time job? Or is it you're afraid that, you signed up and you're not going to hit your fitness or your personal goals that you've set for yourself? So identify what that goal is and sit down and really say to yourself, what is it that I'm really scared of? And write it down, because without knowing what that fear is, you're never going to know how to overcome it. The next thing is curiosity. I want you to kind of get curious to as why you're generating these fears. Is it maybe your past life experiences that maybe you have failed in certain areas of your life and you're worried that you're going to repeat that? Is it somebody around you that keeps putting you down? Is it somebody around you that continues to say, oh, you're not going to make anything of this. This is just going to be yet another thing. Is it the fear of what others will think? I know that in the beginning for me, that was one thing because I continued to get a lot of people that doubted me in the beginning. Where do you feel this fear? How do you react to it? So again, being an observer of what it's doing and what's going on around you is going to be another key point to getting yourself to get out of that fear of failure when it comes to this business. So the next thing would be the now. What are you lacking right now? Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but right now. Accept yourself as you are right this very second. Then I want you to make a list of your weaknesses. So sit down and journal, and I'm kind of giving you a couple call to actions in the middle of the call. So I'll go over everything towards the end of the call. So I want you to sit down and journal everything that you feel is holding you back, okay? Because again, these things may be things that you can take out of your life, or we can look to find ways to improve, to continue to make sure that fear is not something that stands in your way, okay? The next thing I would say is talk about it. Talk to your upline. Talk to your success partner. Find a friend, family member, somebody that you can talk to about your fears, someone you can be open and honest with, okay? How often, I know I'm guilty of this, do we hold in the negative things in our life because we're afraid of how others might react? I know I do. So, I'm sure there are other people on this call that do the same thing. Get it off your chest, get empowered and move on once you've talked about it. Make sure you're talking to somebody who adds value though in this conversation and doesn't feed into your negativity. Again, you want people in your life that are supporting your decision and supporting your business, not people that are going to feed into the negativity, okay? And then the last two things I have is number 6 would be read, okay? I'm a huge, proponent. I feel that personal development is so key in this business, a good book on your specific fear or something that you're struggling with in this business can open so many doors to how you can get rid of them. So I suggest you start reading something that is specific to the topic you are dealing with. And I have a couple of recommendations that I think would be beneficial to fear overall and fear in this business that I will share with you guys. And then I'll also make sure to post a list in the group here. Okay. And finally, I want you to take action, okay? This is my number 1 tip for you guys. So we talk about all of this and you say, yes, I get it. I know I need to do this, but then you do nothing, okay? Or you read a book and you get it and something clicks, but you don't implement a single thing that you've read, okay? You have to start taking action and tackling that fear until it becomes smaller and smaller until it's non-existent and you have crushed that fear and you have kicked it out the door and it's no longer there anymore, okay? The confidence will continue to grow and you'll be able to move forward once you do these steps, okay? And the last thing, I want you to ask yourself, what's the worst thing that could happen? What's the worst thing that could happen when you invite somebody to your challenge group or you invite somebody to the coaching opportunity, okay? What's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're still going to be alive. You're still going to have your family. You're still going to have us. You're still going to have this community of people that are always here to support you, okay? Life goes on, okay? So I want you to think about that when you're thinking about these fears of inviting and fears of sharing with the coaching opportunity and fears of, this business as a whole. What's the worst thing that could happen? Because let's be real, there's not going to be a worse thing that's going to happen. You're going to continue to get out of your comfort zone. You're going to continue to grow and build off of that fear, and you're going to be able to get rid of that fear altogether if you start doing these things. So real quickly, I wanted to share with you guys just a couple of personal development books that I feel are really good in shifting the mindset, and when it comes to fear and fear of failure in this business, okay? So a couple of ones that stick out in my mind are The Magic of Thinking Big, and that is by David Schwartz. You Can, You Will by Joel Osteen. The other one that's not on this list is You're a Badass by Jen Sincero. That one is such an amazing read, and I recommend, if you haven't already read it, get that book. That is such a great book for overcoming your confidence and fear. Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. Just looking over here at this list. Girl Boss by Sophia Amoruso. I'm not sure if I'm saying that name right, but Girl Boss is a great one. Start, Punch Fear in the Face, Escape Average, and Do Work That Matters by John Acuff. That is another one that I would highly recommend. And I think that's it. I certainly will put a list up for you guys and share with you guys some of the books that I feel are beneficial when overcoming fear and how to be successful in this business and to not let fear deter you from your goals. So I hope that was helpful, guys. Again, I would like to, when it comes to your call to action today, I want you guys to sit down and write out what some of your fears are and, go over why you think you're having some of these fears in your business and, talk with your upline, send a message to me. Let's see what we can do about finding a book that works for you and how we can kind of get those fears to a much smaller level and continue to work on this business, because you guys are capable and you guys can succeed in this business if you allow it and you take action each and every day. So I hope you guys found this video beneficial, and again, feel free to reach out to me, Emily, Michelle, your upline who added you, and I hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later.